Hello everyone, welcome to my corner of the world and welcome to the last day of June. Can you believe we're almost through June? Oh, heaven knows what's happened to it. Okay, so I am just going to bring in my camera. Hope that doesn't make you feel seasick. I think I brought it in a bit too much. Let's take it out a teensy bit. There we go. Alrighty. So let's see what we've got going on today. So if you are out there, perhaps you'll just go ahead and let me know you're there by typing a message in the live chat on the right hand side of your screen. That would be lovely. I'll give you a moment. Right. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Well, that was the question I asked myself when I did my blog post yesterday. And I sort of briefly shared a card that I had done with a group of Stampin' Sisters. And one of them is Nicole Spinetto, and she had created this card here with this lovely little peekaboo. And I thought that, well, maybe we could do one in the live and just change it up, use some different papers, different dyes, different colors, and I can just sort of share with you how to go ahead and get that peekaboo all working. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I started with my paper pack and I pulled out this Country Woods one, and this whole pack is about sort of like distressed wood effect, and there are really some lovely papers in here. And so I kind of pulled one out that I thought would be neutral enough, but I've just seen this one. So I pulled this one out, which I thought would be neutral enough, but I've just come across this one, and I think I like this one better. So, oh, hello Hilda, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Right, so I'm going to use this paper. I was going to use this one, but I've changed my mind. And I love this distressed effect. This is going to be a bit too dark for what I wanted. But I did think that I would use this colour. Now, I haven't used this wild wheat for a while, and it's not necessarily a colour I'm particularly crazy about, but I think it goes really well with this paper, and it would have gone well with this, and that's why I chose it, because it had this in, but I'm thinking it's going to go really well with this. So instead of having a landscape, I want to have a go at a portrait style card. So if you've got any thoughts or ideas, just sort of shout them out. Let me know if you've got any suggestions on how we can go forward. But I'm going to make a start. It does take a few moments for comments to come through so that I can see them. So I'm going to start. I'm going to just cut my piece of card at 5.5. So I just got half a sheet of card like that, and this doesn't have a sort of card on the front of it. The front of the card is actually the decorative paper. So I'm going to have to trim this bit down just to see just to get the sizes right. So I'm going to have a 1 inch fold like that. So that gives me my sort of front piece to anchor my paper. And then this needs to be the size of a card, which is like 4 1/4. So if the sun's shining on me today, it should fit into the envelope. Yep, so we're in a good place there. So we've ended up with a piece of card that is 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. Oh, hello, Sally. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. So that is our starting point, and we're going to need a piece of this paper that is the size of this, which is like 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. Let's just double check. What is it they say? Measure twice, cut once. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I think the best thing to do is to have the grain of the wood going up and down. I'm sure that's what wood does. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I don't know if you caught the beginning, Hilda and Sally, but I was saying that yesterday I shared a card on my blog, and it's landscape. So I thought, well, let's try a let's try a portrait one like that. And then what have we got on the back? So this is a bit dark on the back. I'm not sure I like that. We may be picking up a different piece. So we're going to stick that inside there, and I'm going to look to put another piece of paper on here. Now, we need to do something about the inside. So I always keep a little stack of like pre-cut pieces of white so I'm not always cutting. So that looks like I've cut that one as a 3rd layer, not as a 2nd layer. Yes, so that would go there. So needs a bit more, needs something else. So what do we think? This is the new basic beige. And do you think that that would make a good inside liner? Any thoughts, anybody? It kind of needs, you see, I wondered about like the grey, but I think that's too dark. And black, I think that's too dark as well. But I might be using that piece of black in a minute, thinking about it. Okay, well, let's just go ahead, and this piece needs to be, let's cut it at 5 1/2 there, and then I've got a 1/4 sheet, and then I'm going to take that there. So I've got 2 1/4 sheets, and then I'm going to trim this one down so that I've got multiple layers. I think that's what I'm going to do. There. So we've ended up here with 5 1/4 by 4, which this piece will go on really nicely. Let's move a bit of this out of the way. That will go inside, and then that's going to be attached on the inside like that. That might need a bit of a trim, but we'll see. So that's the thoughts so far. Right. Now, the thing I wanted to be able to do was to share sort of how to make the little, the hole, how to line everything up on the hole and stamp our greeting through the little peekaboo hole. So what we're going to have to do is, I think I'm going to pop this in as far as it will go. Is that too far? I think if I pop this in as far as it will go and I line up my edge with the edge of the punch, hopefully you can see that, then I'll know that that hole is actually level. Okay. Right. So we've actually got that in place now. So we're now committed. I'm going to stick some adhesive. So I'm going to put adhesive on the, if you like, the smallest piece here. So, right. So let me tell you what I've been doing with my morning. One of our granddaughters is currently competing in the World Dance Cup in Prague, in the Czech Republic, and she was dancing this morning for us, late afternoon for them in Prague. And in a team, she's dancing with a team, and they came. Now how old is Lucy? Let me think. I think yes, she'd be 12 in November. So it's always difficult to remember. But so their team came 11th out of 23, which is obviously absolutely fantastic. So she's also dancing again on Friday. She's in two competitions on Friday. So we'll be glued. You can sort of dial in on the internet and they're streaming it live, which is absolutely brilliant for us. Right, now then, I was talking about putting some paper there, but I'm not overly fussed about this real dark one. So I wonder if I get some paper and let me do this. I have decided to use this stamp set, Thoughtful Wishes, and it's got a dotty stamp, people, and I love my dotty stamps. I'm going to see if I can get you a bit closer. There. And I'm wondering if I do a little bit of tone on tone stamping. So if I get the wild wheat out and if I do some tone on tone there and stamping off at the same time so it's not ever such a dark ink there. Well, it's a bit of a gap, couple of gaps there, so we're just going to fold that like that. Well, I think that does it. What do you think? give me a thumbs up if you think that's doing it for us. So that gives us that piece, and this gives us this piece, and I'm going to have to, ooh, I've got ink on my fingers. Good job, there's the back of the card. Right, now then, I think we're gonna get this stuck down, I think, before I have any inking accidents. Great, thank you, Sally. Yeah, it would have been nice to stick another piece of paper on there, but you know, I don't really want to keep on cutting into sheets of paper. Normally when I do like that, I sort of use the flip side of the piece of paper, so that you sort of got one sheet of paper on the go, as it were. Right, so there's our inside piece. And now we've got to put a greeting in. So we need a greeting that obviously will fit in that hole. And there's several in here. I'm always choosing thinking of you. So that one says thinking of you fondly. But I think you make my life better. It's a great one. I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to use the wild wheat again. And so what we're going to do this time, let's see how lined up. Oh, I think I've got it quite well lined up. All we're going to do, because we've got this bit stuck down now, and we know it's going to be in the right place, we are going to just stamp in the hole, and voila. It's not bad. That is not bad. I got that lined up quite nicely. Pleased about that. So there we've got a couple of techniques going on. We've got tone on tone with some stamping off. We've punched a hole, and we've got our greeting inside our card as well. So there we go with that. I'm going to put this one back before I lose it. You know, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. Share if you have. The other day I had a stamp out, and I knew I'd put it out on my bench top. Could I find it? I was just lifting everything, tearing everything apart. And what happened was it had actually got stuck to the back of the actual stamp case. That's where it had been all along. And I was fuming with myself that I'd wasted my time. Right, now this stamp set has a coordinating set of dies, and these are stunning. So some of them will actually cut out a stamped image, like this one for instance, but others will just sort of cut out a shape. So we're going to use both so you can see how they work differently. Now, this one I am going to stamp in, let me see, I think I'll use a green. I like Granny Apple Green. I never used to like Granny Apple Green, but it's really grown on me. Let's see what we think about Granny Apple Green. Let's see. Now, do you think that is going to tone in? You thought, yes, I know. It happens to us all. Happens to us all. And I moved my workbench the other day to clear behind it. Oh dear, I found 2 re-inkers I thought I'd lost, so that's refill bottles. There was paper behind there was a piercing tool. Okay, so I'm wondering, is that a good ear colour to go on there? Or maybe our old friend, Old Olive. Let's give Old Olive a little look. I'm a bit concerned that it might turn out a bit drab. if we use old olive, especially with the wild wheat. Let's see what we get. Experiment a little bit. All right. Right, let's see. So, old olive, here we come. So this is old olive, and that's Granny Apple Green. So what do we think goes best? I'm thinking Granny Apple Green, aren't you? No, sorry, old olive. I think it's kind of in the right tone. Okay, right, let's see. Let's see if we can make this happen. Right, how are we doing for time? Ooh, you're already. Well, that hasn't, well, let's see. This is, I've used watercolor paper here, and water, it's kind of got a, it's kind of got a texture to it. It doesn't always pick up the ink 100% actually, but this is coming up quite nice. So this is my blender pen. I've not added any extra ink or anything. I'm just using it, and I'm just using the ink that's already on there to smoosh it around. And that, I think, is a technical term, smoosh. And if I bring it up, can you see that the outer edge is still quite dark, but the inside edge is nice and pale. So you don't have to be ever so careful with this, because it's kind of, as I say, when watercolor was always outside the lines a little bit anyway, isn't it? So we've got a good, oh, I like this. Now it's sort of coming together. I like it. Okay. Now, when you've got one of these, just use the edge on some scratch paper like that until it runs clear. And although it's a tinsy bit discoloured on the end, it won't travel to your next piece, whatever it is that you decide to cook with it. Right. Now then, let me see. I've got this, and I've got my nice little mini. Blending pen looks great. It does. I'm very fond of the blending pen. I use it a lot. Actually, I need it to go this way so I can. So I'm wondering what I've done with my can't see it. Gonna have to use some tape. I've usually got my little sticky tape. That's like sticky notes, but I don't know where I've put it. I had a tidy up. I mean, you can probably tell by the fact that I found stuff behind my workbench that I had a tidy up, and you know, you can't find anything when you've had a tidy up. It's the worst. It's the worst possible idea is to have a tidy up. Right, let's get this working. Get you stuck under there. There we go. Right. And with any luck at all, I've got this all nicely lined up. Please, please, please. Let me have got this all nicely lined up. And because of course the paper's sort of stuck because I've had to use the wrong kind of tape, but there we go. Ah, gotcha. Right. Da, 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 da. Right, there we go. There's another mess. Oh, you said the first green? Oh. Sorry, Sally, I missed that bit. As I say, it does take a few moments for the message to come through, but I think it doesn't look too bad. All right, so that's that bit. And I'll let you see what's going in my thoughts, you see. So I'm thinking that I can do like this. So I'm kind of sort of, you know, picking up on that. And then I've got this. I don't think I need you anymore. Let's get you out of the way so we can see what we're doing. So now what we need to do is to get another colour card. So we have got the wild wheat. I've also got some black. And I've got some grey. And of course, we've also got some of the basic beige. I think this is going to get lost, don't you? I think it is. So, what do you think? Anybody? I'll give you a few minutes to come up with your vote. So you can just put black, grey or wheat. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at doing an extra piece like this to sort of complement that paper. Okay, so let's see what else is in the, is there another one that we could also do? So if we decided to do 3 colours. What's this? This one looks as though it should have flowers on the end of it. Grey. Sally says grey. Anybody else got any thoughts? So we've got one grey coming out. Okay. Tell you what we'll do. Maybe it will be easier if we actually cut them. Right. Okay, Sind, what did you do with that other plate? There it is. I thought I was being quite well organised, but hey. So, is anybody going to be away for the holiday weekend? I don't know. I'm not quite sure whether this is the holiday weekend or whether next... Yeah, I think Thursday, maybe next week will be the holiday weekend. I'm not sure. We have a little town just to the north of us, and every year the fire department organises a parade on July 4th, and it's really lovely, and we try and go up every year just to support them, and there's no charge. They don't charge anything for going. And, ooh, I think you may be right there, you know, Sally. What do you think? I think that was a bit of an inspired suggestion. I'm just going to go ahead and do the other little one in black, just so as we've got something else, just to think about. Right, how are we doing now? Let's go up there. this. Right. Okay. So should we kind of do like, how do we like this? We've got, so we can do a bit behind and a bit in front. Has anybody got any thoughts? How about in back of the green, like this? Yes. Yes, so that the stamped one has got a bit more about it. Like that. What do we think? I'm going to try and bring us in a bit closer because I think I'm struggling to see. How do we like that? I'm just going to clear the decks a little bit because I can't hardly see the top of my workbench. What you can see is not too bad. What I can see looks like a bomb's hit it. Yeah, you think that's going to work, Sally, with the black as well? Or should I maybe do another grey one? Have I got enough grey? I could do another grey and get rid of the black altogether. I did have a big piece of grey, didn't I? Right, oh look, there it is. It would bite me if I'm not careful. Just leap up and bite me. Right. Maybe just do away with the black and just go with the grey. There we go. Right. There, do we like? Because if we like, we're going to go for it. We are going to go for it. Okay, so I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of my hand. Please don't do that if you are worried about being allergic to it. I know I'm not. I do it all the time, so, but it's not a good thing to put something on your skin if you're not sure about whether or not it's gonna harm you. Okay, right, so, oh, for goodness sake, Cindy, that's sticking to my fingers now. Right, and if we have this piece going over like that, maybe if I use this little piece of card, my fingers won't get stuck. And then if we do like this, I wonder if we should put some little minis on there to give it a bit of presence. Let's see. Let's lose you. I'm going to use that on something else. I'm sure I'll use that on something else. because I don't want to waste it. We got going on. Right, let's see how this goes. Now, oh, one more. Trading card. Absolutely, Sally. A trading card. Oh, yes. That's definitely going in my box of scraps. Okay, well, are you liking this as much as I'm liking this? I'm thinking, let's see what we've got. I did get some ribbons out that I've not used before. I got this one out. It's kind of a nice check, but I haven't used black, so I'm going to be not using that one. This one is interesting. This has got like pecan pie in it. This is the basic beige. And I got this one out. I love that, the pink, but the white, I think it needs a bit of rustic. Yes, for the black piece, exactly right. Exactly right. So, if you find that your linen thread is a bit too curly-whirly, just I'm not pressing hard, I'm just using the weight, like the warmth of my thumb to straighten that out a bit, just to stop it being quite as curly. And we can just do a little linen thread, oh, lost it, little linen thread bow there. And we need a glue dot. Yeah. Now that knot is smaller than the glue dot. So what I'm going to do is smoosh the glue dot up underneath. And then I'm just going to pop it there at the bottom. Clear that out the way. So how are we thinking? Are we thinking that that's going well? That's how a bow is done. Oh yeah, I've got a series of videos, Sally, that talks about making like the single, the double, doing different techniques with ribbons. Make your ribbons work for you. Yes, so I always use like the rabbit ear technique. It just works for me. Now, I pulled these out. These are just gorgeous, and I think we are going, to use some. So they are called Dragonflies and Birds, and they're kind of a sort of a goldy colour. And I think that what we might do is add some dragonflies, and maybe we'll put one on here, and it doesn't look like I've used any of the birds. I really like those dragonflies. So if we put a couple of little birds, and then, oh look, there's some right-handed and some left-handed birds. So we're gonna do a right and a left, like that. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. So this was the idea that we started off with, and I mainly wanted to show you how to do like the peekaboo and get everything lined up in the peekaboo. But I also wanted to do a portrait format one, which I think we've managed to do. And so we've got tone on tone stamping with some stamping off. We've got a little bit of watercolouring using the blender brush. We've got die cutting, we've got bows, we've got our little peekaboo in the front there. And we've got finished up with a really nice inspirational card. You make my life better. How lovely that would be to get that in the post and be able and think, oh, that would really give someone a lift. I'm glad you like it, Sally. I really appreciate you and Hilda joining me, and there are others, but both of you have joined in with the chat. If you've got any questions or any comments, you just need to pop them below once this live is kind of finished. You can pop any comments or questions below. If you've enjoyed today, please go ahead, give me a thumbs up. And I thank you once again for choosing to spend some time with me today. And I will be back next week with another live, with another idea that we're going to build up from scratch. Well, enjoy your Sunday. Have a great July the 4th. Bye-bye for now.